Welcome, everybody. Welcome to those who are joining us on Zoom. Welcome to those in the Facebook Live group. Welcome to those who are seeing this on YouTube or in Whova later on. This is our present set of musicians. We're playing and singing for you and talking about what's coming up at Fiddle Hell Online, April 15th through 18th. And as you've heard me say probably a few times and post, 35 concerts, 35 jam sessions, 200 workshops, all over 4 days, all live, and then 3 more months of viewing all of the session recordings. So probably the biggest online event like this that anybody runs. A lot of fun. You can register at fiddlehell.org. So we have 6 groups here, all composed of Fiddle Hell instructors and performers. They're going to be playing you a tune and talking about their sessions, their workshops, their jams, perhaps their concerts. Each of them will have about 7 or 8 minutes. Will be done in an hour, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And this represents, perhaps 10%? No, less, 8% of the instructors we have at Fiddle Hell. So we have a lot of people teaching on a lot of instruments. And I'll say more about that later, but I would like to turn it over to Katie McNally and Neil Pearlman to talk a bit about what they're doing and show it off.
Thanks, Dave. We're really excited to be here. We are. I've been at Fiddle Hell a few times now, and it's really fun to have it an extra time this year. We're in Portland, Maine, and we'll tell you about our classes in a little bit, but we'll start playing a set of tunes for you.
Yeah.
This is off of our new album, which is called Now, More Than Ever. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thanks, everyone. So the class I'm going to be teaching at Fiddle Hell, well, both of us play Scottish and Cape Breton music, and so what could be more Scottish and Cape Breton-y than a class on strathspeys? I'm going to be teaching a class that's kind of more like, sort of more on the music appreciation side of things, and we're going to be listening to a bunch of examples of different types of strathspeys from Cape Breton, from Scotland, how they're different, how they're the same, how the tempos differ, how kind of like the vibe is different between all of them. So that'll be like kind of listening and discussion. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'm also teaching kind of at the more lower level one of my favorite marches called Highland Laddie. And then kind of at really top speed, I'm going to be teaching a couple of my very favorite Jerry Holland tunes, who he was if you don't know, one of the legends of Cape Breton fiddling, and originally from the Boston area, which is where I'm originally from. And then together, Neil and I are going to be...
we're doing a little bit of performing, right? We're going to be part of some of the concerts and sessions and stuff. And then I'm also going to be teaching a piano accompaniment class, sort of focused on the way that I approach accompanying Scottish and Cape Breton tunes. So it's informed a lot by those traditions, but also brings some of my other influences to play into play. So we'll kind of explore what that is, whatever it is. And I'll also be helping out a bit behind the scenes with Fiddle Hell and the tech side of things. So you might bump into me in the hall, so to speak, or if you come to the weekend. Yeah.
We're doing, Neil mentioned really quickly, we're doing a jam, a Scottish jam, and I think that's also like fast.
Yeah.
This time. And we have a concert with one of my very favorite fiddle players and very favorite people, Wendy McIsaac. I didn't quite realize until I was just reminding myself what my classes were that we were splitting the bill with her. So I'm really psyched about that. She's a dear friend, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So
we hope to see you there. It's going to be a really fun weekend.
Yeah. I think that's us. And stick around for the other incredible staff you're going to hear from tonight.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Katie and Neil. Katie, you've been there at Fiddle Hell just a number of years. That's great. We'll also have, as you mentioned, Wendy McIsaac is there. Jenna Moynihan is back. Jeremy Kittle is there for the first time. So lots of Scottish and Cape Breton. And now, on the Bluegrass side, I'd like to take us over to Dr. Richard Brown and Margaret Gerteis, friends of mine.
Hello there.
From a long time back, and representing the mandolin side of things as well as bluegrass. And of course, bass players.
That's right. Bass players are always there. It's all about the bass, right?
That's right.
We're happy to be here. We're gonna play a little tune, and then we'll tell you a little bit about what we're gonna be doing. So, Richard, go ahead.
Yeah, this one's called it's a Bill Monroe tune called The Tan Yards, and it has 4 parts. If you're paying attention. And if I can play it correctly, that would be great. Okay, this is the Tan Yard. got the harmonic.
Wow,
was,
that's really nice. You know,
Ah.
we do have, if you guys have a short vocal tune, we definitely have time to do
Yeah,
that.
we will do that. I also just wanted to say that we're going to be doing 3 different things. So on Friday, April 16th at 10 o'clock, that's a good way to start it. If you, I'm not sure exactly when everything starts, but we're going to be doing an up-to-speed bluegrass jam, and those are a lot of fun. We've done a few of those, and that's always a lot of fun. Give people a chance to play breaks and to do backup and take requests, and we'll try to keep the tunes familiar, and even though it's up to speed, it won't be breakneck speed. And then we're going to be playing a couple of concerts as well. So on Saturday afternoon, Richie is splitting the bill with Sharon Gilchrist for a mandolin workshop, so a concert rather. So come to that. I'll be backing him up. And then on Saturday night, we'll be doing the big concert too, and that was a lot of fun. We stuck around last year for all of it. It was great to hear everybody in different genres. So okay, so we'll do a quick vocal. How about that?
Okay. Also, I wanted to just mention if anyone knows Phil Zimmerman, he's kind of been under the weather, or he's been really sick, and if anybody knows Phil's been a figure in probably over 50 years in New England music, and he's helped run Mandolin Camp North, and he's in kind of bad shape right now, and he's at home, and if anybody can drop him a line via Facebook, letter, carrier pigeon, anything, it would be really appreciated.
Okay, let's do Ashes of
Okay, this is an old Johnny and Jack tune called Ashes of Love. We like to do this, so we're going to do it for you. Ashes of love, cold as ice. You made the debt and I'll pay the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flames burned out. The love light that shined in your eyes has gone out to my surprise. You said goodbye, my heart wept. I'll keep the vow, our love is dead. Ashes of love, cold as ice. You made the debt and I'll pay the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flames burned out. Oh, I trusted you, our love would stand. Your only wish was my command. My heart tells me I must forget. I loved you then and I love you yet. Ashes of love, cold as ice. You made the debt and I'll pay the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flames burned out. No. Ashes of love, the flames burned out.
Yeah, we were running over. So anyway,
I guess we're running over, but
see
thank you
y'all,
everyone, and see you all.
in a couple weeks.
And I must say, Fiddle Hell is a great thing to be in. If
It's a lot of fun, so make sure to come.
yes, please.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you, Margaret. That's great. You mentioned Sharon Gilchrist, also mandolin player. We'll also have Andy Statman there on the Thursday and the Sunday. We've got Ellen Carlson teaching fiddle, bluegrass fiddle, Daryl Anger, Billy Contreras, and a bunch of other people. So that side of things is beautifully represented. And now going to our neighbor from the north. I haven't seen April Verch in person for a while. I saw her up at a camp up in Maine, and it's her first time at Fiddle Hell, and we're extremely happy to have her there. And I'll turn it over to you, April.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this. I'm really excited. I would love to be gathering with everybody in person, but I've been excited about this, and I have to say that even now, this is such an amazing connection, and I'm so excited. I'm so glad we have this little preview to give us just a little taste of what it'll be like. So yeah, I'll just play a tune here to get warmed up. This is one of the tunes that I'm going to be teaching. It's called Jonah's First Change. And as Dave mentioned, I'm from Canada. I'm from Pembroke, Ontario in the Ottawa Valley. Although tonight I'm coming to you from North Carolina, but I'll be playing some different Canadian styles. And the Métis people live predominantly in Western Canada, and their tradition combines the First Nations culture with Scottish and French Canadian. It's really special, and this is a great tune for jamming and dancing to, and it's really fun to learn by ear. So I always like teaching it. Jonah's First Change. So that's one workshop. I'm also going to do one that's kind of an overview of Canadian fiddle styles from coast to coast. So a little bit of a history lesson, some examples of the regional styles, and we'll talk about what old-time Canadian means and how that's different from old-time American. And then we'll learn a tune that we can sort of experiment with a little bit, some different ornamentation, and how would we play this if we were in Cape Breton versus how would we play this tune if we were in Quebec, for example. And speaking of ornaments, my other workshop is called the Fiddler's Toolbox, and we're going to talk about left hand and right hand techniques, how to use just some really basic, simple things to take a melody and change it so it sounds a little bit more like you. And hopefully that will give you some ideas that you can use in other tunes that you already play, as well as some of the ones that we learn together. I'm also going to do some practice strategy talk. I know I said that dirty word, practice, but it'll be fun, I promise. We're going to talk about how to make the most out of your practice session. I remember when I was a little girl, I used to call playing practicing, and I'd put in my half hour and I wasn't getting much better. So we'll talk about how to use your time wisely and have a little bit of a plan for your practice sessions. And last but not least, we're going to talk about tune writing. And so that can apply to a bunch of different instruments. Just some tips, different methods that people use, things that I find helpful, and we probably will end up writing a tune together as a class. So if you come to that one, be ready to unmute your mic. We will probably be passing a few ideas back and forth for that one. And yeah, that's my workshops. I'm also going to do the Canadian Jam. My husband Cody is going to join in on that one, and we also have a concert, which will be, I think we ended up calling it Canadian and More. Is that right, Dave? So it'll be mostly Canadian with a few other things that we love to play tossed in there. So I'll just close with one more tune. Do I still have time for that, Dave, to play one more? Okay. I thought I'd play one that I wrote since I was talking about the tune writing. And because I forgot about this tune until just the other day. This is one called The New Waltz. I wrote it. A friend of mine was bugging me to write a tune about the New River. And there's already a New River waltz, so this is just the new waltz. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you guys. And if you're not already signed up, make sure you get in before the early bird cuts off in a few days.
Great. Thank you, April. I remember taking your class on practicing. I think it was at the Acadia Trad up there, and I learned a whole bunch of things from that. Just as a reminder, we have great instructors. They're teaching tunes, they're teaching styles, they're teaching techniques, they're teaching approaches. So it's and there's history that shows up in there. So there's really a lot of cool stuff at Fiddle Hell. And as April said, the early birds and the last giveaway, you have till midnight, March 31st to sign up. If you miss that deadline, it's okay. You can still come to Fiddle Hell. It starts April 15th through the 18th. So there are a couple other Canadian fiddlers and players who will be there. They're not represented today, but a couple from the French Canadian Quebecois tradition. We have Andre Brunet, Lisa Ornstein, Stephanie Lepine, and Wendy McIsaac. So Canada, I think, is well represented. Next, we're going to take you down to Texas, and we're thinking about Texas fiddling and Western swing. And we have several of the folks that I know from down in the Dallas area who are going to be teaching and performing. So I will turn it over to Joey McKenzie on guitar and Ridge Roberts on fiddle.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Good to see you, buddy. And we're super excited to be a part of Fiddle Hell this year. And maybe we can just play a little Western swing song for you right now, like you might hear from Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys. And this one's called Right or Wrong. 1, 2, 3. bake with that same old bread. All alone I knew I'd lose you, till I prayed that you'd be true. Oh Lord, in your heart, please just remember, right and wrong, I'm still in love with you. You don't go. Yeah. Well, all right. Thank you so much. And want to introduce you to my friend Ridge Roberts right here. He's 17 years old for just a few more days, but in his short amount of time playing the fiddle, he's accomplished an awful lot, and he's won the World Championship Fiddle Contest in Crockett, Texas, and he's your current Grand Masters Fiddle Champion from Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm really happy to have him be a part of our workshops at Fiddle Hell. And we also have a little band together called the Western Flyers. So, we'll be teaching Western swing rhythm guitar. We'll be teaching a introduction to backup guitar, and that will cover probably more fiddle tunes, Texas style tunes, breakdowns, and maybe a waltz as well. And we'll be doing a twin fiddle workshop. Ridge will be one of the twins, along with our friend Leah Sawyer, and they're going to do a great old tune that Bob Wills played a lot called the Silver Lake Blues, that Keith Coleman and Johnny Gimbel played originally on the record. And so you know, please go to the fiddlehell.org website and click on our picture, and that'll tell you when all of these things are going to be taking place. So how about we play a Texas style fiddle tune?
Yeah, let's do that.
The Texas style is kind of a mix of styles from around the United States. A little bit of Western swing that came from Bob Wills is thrown in there, and that kind of influenced the rhythm guitar that you hear with the passing chords. And a little bit of the blues mixed in there, and a little bit of swing and jazz, and so it often takes a two-part fiddle tune and adds some variations to it. And so I think we're going to play Sunnyside.
Yeah.
This is one that was written by one of our favorite fiddle players, Vernon Solomon, and it's called Sunnyside. Well, another thing I wanted to mention for anybody that wants to get signed up, there's a early bird discount that you can get, and the deadline to do that is March the 31st. So jump in there, and you'll save enough money to buy some rosin, a new set of fiddle strings maybe, and so again, that's fiddlehell.org. Tell your friends about it, and March 31st is the deadline. And how we doing on time, Dave?
I think we're doing fine. One thing I'd ask is on the guitar. We have quite a few people who play guitar, some of them as a second instrument. I know you're teaching an intro to the this particular kind of sock guitar style. I wonder if you could say a couple words about that in terms of what you'll be teaching and whether people who haven't tried the style before could come to that.
Sure. Well, I think anybody that has an interest in this, that already is playing guitar and has a decent understanding of basic chords, could be a part of this. And that's the idea, is to get more people playing the style. And so what we'll do is we'll have some charts for some of the passing chords that fill in the gaps between the main chords of the tune, and how to establish a bass line in a tune. And so yeah, it's open really to anybody that has an interest in doing this. The idea is we'll try to keep it relatively basic, but also give you some things that you'll have time to work on as time goes on, to woodshed on them a little bit.
And I'm hoping you might actually have an informative handout or two.
We will, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have some chord charts and featuring some of the, over the years I've learned a lot of chords on the guitar, but I find that I've weeded out a lot of those chords, and I've kind of found the ones that I think have the voicings that are best suited for this style of music. So I'll have a sheet that talks about the main chords that I play and what I think are really complementary voicings.
That's excellent. So, I mean, you can get chords anywhere, but the best suited chords, that's a real win.
That's it. I mean, there's lots of ways to play a G chord, but when you take a song and you're working out an arrangement of it, often there's one of those chords that'll sound the best in that particular situation. So that's what I've been spending the last 30 or 40 years trying to figure out myself. And so I'll try to share some of what I've learned over that time with everybody in the class.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So Marcy's going to join us very shortly, I think, but she's not on quite yet. So I'm wondering, Mitch, if we can kind of jump ahead to you. I'll talk a little bit to give you a little time to get ready there. Mitch Reed moved to the Northeast from down in Louisiana, and he's a great player, a singer and storyteller from the traditions of Cajun and Creole playing. We are actually lucky that we also have Michael Doucet at Fiddle Hell Online this year, and they used to play together first and second fiddle in a fairly well-known Cajun band by the name of Beau Soleil. So Mitch is teaching, by the way, and you can find him online. He's teaching up there both online and probably in person. And let's see, Mitch, are you ready to go there?
I'm all
Looks
ready.
like you are. I will turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dave. Awesome. Well, hi out there. I hope everybody's doing good tonight, and thanks for tuning in. And yeah, I'm going to be teaching some Creole music. So I was really lucky when I was young. My dad was a Cajun accordion player, and he took me around to go visit all the old guys, and I was able to study with one legendary guy in particular. His name was Ken Ray Fontenot. And so I'm going to be doing a class that's going to be on April 17th from 11:30.
Mitch, you're just a little quiet. If you could turn up your gain just a hair.
Okay, am I a little quiet? Okay, let me do that. And I'll move my microphone too, that might help. Let's see here. Let's see if this helps at all. Sorry, y'all. I got a good shot of Bigfoot now in the background. That's another guy I learned to play fiddle from, but that's a whole nother story, so we'll save that for another time. But yeah, anyway, I was really lucky to study with Can Ray, and I'm going to be doing one of his tunes. I'm going to be breaking down one of his tunes on April 17th, and that's going to be in the morning. That'll be from 11:30 to 12:30. So I'll just play a Can Ray tune just to show you what that sounds like. So Can Ray was a Creole. So Creoles are black French-speaking people from southwestern Louisiana, and you have Creoles and Cajuns, and it's all mixed up. So you can be Creole, Cajun, whatever you want to call yourself. So this is a Creole tune, and it's kind of a funny tune. It's about a guy who has some water lilies growing in the front of his house. There's a little bayou that passes in the front of his house, and so he puts some poison in there. But as the bayou moves down the way there, Tante Lily, who's an old lady who lives down the bayou, her dog drank the water and died. And so she's very angry, upset. So it's just called La Courée Rodard. It goes like this. So that's some Creole fiddling from Can Ray Fontenot. So yeah, I'm going to break down his tune. I'm going to be teaching a class that's low level intermediate. So if you're new to Creole music or Cajun music, you know, definitely come check it out. We're going to go at a slow pace. I'll also show you how to play second fiddle. So when you're playing Cajun or Creole music, you have one fiddle player playing the lead like what I just did, but then you have another fiddler playing chords and rhythm at the bottom of the strings, and the low strings like. So that if I could have cloned myself, that's what I would have been doing while I was playing that other part. That's what that's the two different parts in that tune. Yeah. So I'm also going to be doing a concert with Michael Doucet. That's on April 18th, and that's going to be 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And me and Michael played together for a long time. So with Beausoleil, I played with Beausoleil for 11 years, but I also learned a lot from Michael Doucet when I was younger, and I was very influenced by him. And we're going to do probably a lot of stuff from Dennis McGee, who's one of our heroes. He was one of the oldest Cajun fiddlers to record. So, yeah, maybe I'll just end with a Dennis song and Dennis tune, and then move along to the next fiddler. So, yeah, it's a couple of Dennis tunes. It goes like this. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Dave. Look forward to it. Can't wait.
Excellent, Mitch. I lost my sound for a moment, but hopefully I'm coming through okay now.
Yeah.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, that's good. So one of the interesting things is we have all these different styles at Fiddle Hell. When it's face-to-face, people kind of hang with their friends to start with, and they'll follow the styles they know and jam with the people they know. And then they start hearing these interesting sounds out of the corner of their ear, and they're attracted over and they'll try something new, and then they'll take a couple workshops or join a jam, and before you know it, people will be just kind of playing a couple of different styles and sort of moving on. It's really a nice thing about the community of Fiddle Hell. So we've had Joey show us one type of guitar playing, but Marcy Marxer is here also, and she does swing, guitar, old-time, bluegrass, classic country, guitar, vocals, and a couple other things. And I would like to turn it over to Marcy to play a little bit and tell us what she'll be teaching.
Well, all right. I love playing swing. I grew up with swing. My mom and two of her sisters had a little swing trio that worked around the Detroit area, so that was what I grew up with. And also, there were people who came up from the South to work in the factories, the automobile factories. And there was a lot of bluegrass. Then my family moved to Flint, Michigan for a while, and there were several auto plants there. So there were, I think, in my little town of about 2,000 people, at one point there were 7 working bluegrass bands. But one of my classes is going to be flat picking, and I thought what we'd do is go into some modal sounding stuff. So with this little bit of modal sounding stuff, we can play several tunes. We can play Cold Frosty Morning, Cluck Old Hen, Shady Grove, and High on a Mountain, all in about an hour. Let's see. High on a mountain, wind blowing free, thinking about the days that used to be. Standing all alone, wondering where the years of my life have flown. that nice modal sound. That'll be tons of fun. And we're also going to sing some harmony. So what we do with singing harmony, if people have an instrument with them, that's great. And if not, that's fine too. I'm going to have recorded tracks for us to sing along with. And some of them I'll put a melody on. Some of them I'll put a harmony on, and we'll find the third harmony. First, what we'll do is we'll lock in on the melody. We'll have a band that we're playing along with. Then we'll note for note learn the third above, and then we'll go to the fifth above, and we'll put that together so that we're singing a few songs that work the same way. Again, I like this, a way of taking one idea and using it on several things. So that way we get quite a bit done. I'm not going to demonstrate singing harmony now. Well, I guess I could. High on a mountain. So what I'm going to do is go to a fifth above. High on a mountain, wind blowing free, thinking about the days that used to be. So we'll work out some of those things, but mainly we're going to be doing skill building workshops, and you're going to have practice materials to use as long as you want them. You'll just download them. Do you have any questions for me about that, Dave?
That sounds great. And what about the concert that you're doing with Kathy?
Oh my God. Yeah, well, Kathy and I have played together for 40 years. It's amazing, isn't it? To think we're actually that old. But yeah, we've played together for 40 years. We've made 48 CDs and produced records for many other people. So we have a plethora. We have a cacophony of songs, a catastrophe of songs to play for y'all. And the cool thing about being on the internet is you can't say no. So we're going to do whatever we want. We'll play some cello banjo. I play cello banjo, which is like an octave lower than a tenor banjo. And they were used in the banjo orchestras. Do I have one here? No. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, both in Britain and in this country. And I just fell in love with an old, Mike Seeger's old cello banjo. Played it on the internet, and I got a call from Goldtone saying, we've got to make those banjos. And we're going to put your name on them. And I thought they were joking because it's such an obscure banjo. And I just said, my name on a banjo? That's every girl's dream. And that ended up happening, which is really cool. So I do that, and Kathy is an amazing clawhammer banjo player. She's just incredible. She plays in, I think, if she counted them, it's about 72 different tunings. And she doesn't care what the notes, she just knows how to get there. She just like, da-da-da-da-da. If you held up a tuner, it'd be perfect. She's also a great rhythm guitar player and great singer and amazing songwriter. And she's been working once a week all through the pandemic writing songs with Tom Paxton, so I'm hoping she'll pull out one of those songs. But we will focus on old-timey and traditional, at least sounding songs. If they're not traditional, though, some of them will relate to today.
And if I'm not mistaken, a couple of those CDs have won Grammys, correct?
Yeah. We have won 2 Grammys, and we've been nominated another, we could say it a different way. We lost 14 Grammys. And we won 2, which is great. It's like you don't really expect to win a Grammy in this field. You don't get into it for that. It's like that came out of the blue for us. In fact, the night before the first time we won the Grammy, the first time we were nominated, we were working in a women's prison, doing shows and teaching, like really doing workshops on how to use time constructively. And my driver's license was stolen, so I just thought, well, I guess I won't be going to California. And I didn't really get it at all, the Grammy thing. It's like it wasn't in my brain, and it didn't matter that much to me, but it turns out my driver's license was found, and friends told me I had to go, so I went, and it was really cool. So I'm glad I went.
Congratulations. A lot of people have made 48 CDs. That is, they've made one and they made 48 copies to sell. But I know that's not what you're talking about. So one of the things I think you listeners out there will be hearing, and you've heard from these teachers, teaching online is a little bit different. I mean, you have a front row seat, which is pretty cool. You're able to see a replay and slow it down to half speed or 3/4 speed, which is definitely a good thing. That works with jams too. But some of the ways of teaching tunes that people had, I play something, then you play it back to me, then I play it, you play it back to me, have given way to more playing through it a little bit more slowly where it's appropriate, because nobody out there is going to hear anybody else except for the instructor, and you can just start playing along with it. So there's a lot of different and kind of interesting new ways of teaching online that work pretty well. And
I think
as
they're
Marcy
working
said, a
great.
couple backing tracks are helpful. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think it's working great. In fact, I started teaching online a lot and then started taking classes online just so I know what it felt like from the other side. And I'm still doing that. Taking jazz classes from Frank Vignola, and also I've taken some Brazilian choro lessons and some Mexican jarana lessons just because I can. And it's like what I find in a workshop online is you get more information. So, but it's all up close and you can see it all. So it's not like sitting in the back of a room. You really, like you said, everybody has a front row seat.
Excellent. So it's nice to have had a couple of guitar players on this time. I think about a third of the people who come to Fiddle Hell normally face to face play guitar, sometimes as a second instrument. We also have the Reverend Robert Jones, who's going to be doing a couple of special programs and teaching some really nice blues finger picking. So that's in there. Keith Murphy and Eric McDonald are going to be teaching some dadgad guitar. So there's a full spectrum of interesting guitar stuff there. And so tell your guitar playing friends that there's a lot, even though it's Fiddle Hell, I know, there's a lot for guitars and mandolins and some wonderful cello teachers that are coming for the first time and some that are coming back. We've got Mike Block there. We have Joy Adams. So let me just sum up. First of all, thanks to everybody who gave up some time to play some tunes and talk about what you're going to be doing at Fiddle Hell. I'm getting more and more excited. It's only 2.5 weeks away. We started with Katie and Neil, Katie McNally and Neil Pearlman, showing the Scottish side. Then Dr. Richard Brown on mandolin with Margaret Gerteis on bass, giving us bluegrass and representing mandolin. April Verch, showing the Canadian side of things. That was excellent. Going down to Texas for Western Swing and Texas style, Joey McKenzie on guitar, Ridge Roberts on fiddle. Then we got to Mitch Reed playing fiddle, Cajun and Creole, and Marcy Marxer last, guitar, some vocals, swing, old-time bluegrass, classic country. So thanks to all of you. For everybody who's watching this live, we're going to take it and put it onto our YouTube channel, which is called Fiddle Hell on YouTube. And we're also going to put it on the Whova Event Manager, so you'll be able to kind of replay this. We have 2 more of these events on April 4th and April 11th. Each time we'll have about 6 or 7 instructors at least kind of going through their stuff. So we're going to get through maybe a third of the instructors at the most. You won't hear everybody, but I think it gives a great idea of the depth of talent and the interesting workshops and jams and concerts that you'll hear at Fiddle Hell. So again, March 31st is the cutoff for early bird sign-ups and tickets. That saves you 10% if you get in by then, and enters you in our last giveaway for lessons, books, CDs, and a couple of other things, copies of Fiddler magazine. If you don't get in by then, you can still sign up at any point you want, even when Fiddle Hell is still started, or has started already. It's April 15th through 18th. Check out the virtual exhibits. You can, in fact, sign on to Whova now. I put a couple of my workshops from November on there, and you can actually replay bowing, chords and a couple of other workshops. And I think Joy and Andy are teaching Cellosaurus Stomp. So you can actually do a few things on Hoover right now. So again, thanks to everybody. We've gone exactly an hour, and it was a really wonderful hour. I'm glad you all made it here, and we'll see you April 4th. Thanks.